Libras. All right. The moon is in your sign, Libra. Happy full moon in your sign, Libra. Pink moon, that is. Let's get into your reading. Talking to you wherever Libra is in your birth chart. You by now know that you are ruled 7th house, the house of marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and enemies. All right. Let's get into it, Libras. Let's get right into it. Let's see what's in your cards. All right. The cycle is over. Move on. Move on. Move on. Move on. Move on. All right. Let's get into it. So it looks like some enemies may have been exposed. Some enemies may have been exposed, Libra, whether they were hidden enemies or enemies that you knew about. They have been exposed already. So it's time for you to move on. Time for you to turn the page, move on to the next phase, next cycle, so that you have learned the lesson. And you say, okay, you learned the lesson, that your head and heart may have been at war because you're air sign, right? Remember, the element of air in terms of auric layer is connected to your heart chakra, and it serves as a gateway to the upper chakras and divine energies, right? So when certain energies want to get through a gate of something, then there's always a sacrifice. Who do they leave on the outside? You. 911, you're a light worker. So source is saying to you, there's some energies who like to stay in the darkness because darkness feels like fun for some people, but you've already gone through a dark night of the soul. So you're enlightened. So you're not meant to go through. You've already gone through enlightenment. You've already gone through enough darkness, right? So this is an emergency. Your angels call upon you to use your spiritual development to inspire others. You possess the gifts of spirit to remind people that their higher power rests inside of them. The time is now to make changes in your life work, so that as to carry out this divine calling, reflect on how you can contribute to the healing of the world around you. 911. So something is an emergency. Your light work is an emergency, right? So you got to come out of your feelings to some degree and help people to come out of theirs. Help people to go into hermit mode and get off the fence and step into enlightenment. That's part of your light work. So when the cycle is over, you come out of your feelings to help other people come out of theirs. You don't stay stuck in your feelings about something and project that on other people. You come out of yours. That's why we say, take what resonates with you, because you don't know what phase people are in. Some people are trying to find the light, and they need to find something that sounds familiar to them, like something that sounds familiar. Like, oh, okay, I can relate to this. I can relate to that. Okay, that sounds like I'm heading in the right direction, right? They help them find the light, and find the light in something. So, yeah, time for you to answer the call. You are being called upon as a light worker. There's no competition. There is no competition. You have a very specific calling on your life, a very specific duty, call on your life. So let's get into it. Some energies, you can't worry about what karmic cycle other people want to be in. They want to stay connected to karmic relationships. They don't want to admit that they have temptations. They don't want to put their demons under submission. So it's saying all you can do is pray for those energies, but stay in the light. You have an assignment. You have to answer the call. Learn how to see things from a higher frequency. Learn how to see some things from a higher frequency. So some energies haven't resolved something in their spirit yet. They haven't resolved something in their spirit. And so it's hard for them to see something from a higher frequency. They haven't resolved something. So whatever that is, yeah, it's driving them crazy. And literally it's driving them, every time they go back in their mind, it's just like, and when you go back through your mind, you're like, you just remember when you had a breakthrough. So it's something is driving somebody crazy. So, yeah. Yeah, and they are drowning. They're overwhelmed. They are really, really overwhelmed. And with a bunch of secrets, they are overwhelmed, and they stay connected to energies who, make them feel like, they're protecting their secrets, but they're not running with the light wolf energy yet. They're not people who are enlightened. So you just asking yourself why. Like what you don't need to ask why anymore. You don't need to ask why anymore. That's going to be your breakthrough. Don't ask why anymore. Don't ask why anymore. Leave it alone. Don't ask why anymore. You're on top of everything. Right? You're on top of it. As a psychic, you're on top of it. You have psychic abilities and psychic gifts. Something about your energy is that you know how to connect with when cycles end. Like you know how to see things from a higher frequency. You know how to connect. Because remember, death is not always in a physical sense. So you know how to make a connection when a cycle ends. This is somebody's gift. You know how to close out a cycle when cycle ends. And so, with your gifts, you being on top of things. When you being on top of things, here we have balance out. Even when you're apart from energies, this is right here. What goes around comes around. Here's this right here. Yes, that source will expose your enemies. Will expose them. Whether you're apart from them, you may not have talked to somebody in 20 years. Source will expose it. Source will expose it. This is your card right here. So that's why you're a very peaceful sign. You'll know that when you're out of balance, when you feel indecisive in your personal or your professional life, you'll know that you're out of alignment. And so that's when it's time to fill back up on your water again. It's like, okay, you need to drink more water, flush something out, do a detox, something you need to do. That's where you're going to have a breakthrough because you're a light worker. You got so many downloads and things that come to you. It's not even funny. It's almost like it could be overwhelming for you, so many downloads that you get, right? And they come to you fast, a quick progression of things. They come real fast. It's like boom, boom. They come to you like lightning. So, and that's why Source needs you to stay focused. That's why Source needs you in hermit mode so that you can stay focused on things, so you can get your downloads. And so when Source is telling you things, you don't need to be in all over the place being distracted. That's what this is. So you can get a breakthrough. You can have a breakthrough. Right? Here's the 7 of Wands so that you can be in. So a cycle is closed out. Something happened really fast. Cycle closed out, and you're in prayer and meditation mode. Prayer and meditation mode. Prayer and meditation mode. Here's the 4 of Pentacles. You're just learning how to be conservative with your time. You're just learning how to be more conservative with your time. Looking at your cards here. Okay? Yeah. When you're dealing with dark a magician energy. There's 2 dark magician energies that you were dealing with. And you're just trying to see something from a higher frequency. Now that something is over, you're trying to see something from a higher frequency. But somebody feels very fortunate. You feel very fortunate. It was a silent tower moment. Very fortunate to have a guardian angel to watch over something, to keep you balanced and keep you at peace while you may have been apart from some energies. Keep you balanced, keep you at peace while you may have been apart from some energies. Right, here's the Queen of Cups here. So I definitely see you surrendering to your gifts. You're surrendering to Source, right? The Creator. Somebody's a prayer warrior, and that's something that you inherited, a gift. Possibly from a loved one, or maybe both sides of your family. You inherited the gifts. But it almost comes across to people that you're obsessed with something, where it's like something just tugs at you until, because it's coming to you so fast. You sort of say, sit down, I need you to meditate. So you can be meditating, while you're washing dishes, while you're putting a load of clothes in, lying down, sleep. You're getting all these downloads coming through. The cycle is over. Move forward. Yeah. So here we have the devil card. Again, devil is in the details. And again, this could be somebody's tied to some kind of an obsession around making somebody have a nervous breakdown. They're obsessed with making somebody having a nervous breakdown. I feel like somebody had, here we have two energies here. There's two energies that are obsessed with not only splitting people apart, but they're obsessed with causing both energies to have an, or seeing which, it's almost like it's a game for somebody, like these two energies, like it's a game to cause, let's see who we can make have a nervous breakdown. That's what this is. But instead of making you have a nervous breakdown, you actually had a breakthrough. And let me see. Yeah, you actually had a breakthrough instead of having a nervous breakdown. These are two fire energies, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Somebody said that you would never go back to. You would never go back to being their friend, never go back to like being in a romantic relationship, never go back to working with them. Something you said you would never go back to as far as they're concerned. Spiritually, like your spirit, your physical body and your spirit, that you would never go back to. You close something out because they bully people. They make people feel like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. Like literally they try to break people. Not only do they try to split people apart, but they literally try to break people, like break people's brains, like make a person has a nervous breakdown, right? But something in you picked up on something and realized they can't break you. If anything, something makes you stronger. It doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. But you had a conversation with somebody who told you that they were moving. Because this is where your breakthrough came in, Libra. Somebody told you that they were moving. Several breakthroughs you had. First, somebody told you that they were moving, and you're wondering, like, how where they get money from to move? Like, what's going on with? Did they hit the lottery or something? Like, what's up with the move, right? But you started piecing some things together when people were apart. When you're apart from somebody, how are they? Still kind of in a loop about something? How do they know certain things? Source was showing you who was running with, what pack people were running with, right? You're like, how they connecting some dots? How are they? Like somebody could have a friend that was trying to, who saw you as competition. So when y'all were apart, they looking at you like, okay, well, wait a minute. This is the Justice card. You remember you rule 7th house, right? So here you and your person are apart. You could have been married to somebody or in a relationship with somebody, in a partnership or business relationship or contract with somebody, and they had an inner desire. Destiny swap. They want your life, right? Something was exposed. So while you all are apart, either you traveling or somebody traveling, they swooping right on in, right? They swooping in. You're now going back through your memory because, again, you're a light worker. So somebody has an ex that's with their karma right now. They are with their karma, and you're going to see it firsthand. But Source had to remove you from a situation because you're being called to do light work. That's what you're called to do. The cycle is over. It's time for you to move forward. Your ex is with their karma right now. Somebody that you thought was a friend. Somebody you thought was a friend. Because every single time y'all go y'all separate ways, what they gonna do? Remember, the devil card connects us with obsession. It connects us with lust. It connects us with restrictions, right? So this energy has always seen you as competition. They have sit down, have warm fireside chats with you, Libra, but they always saw you as competition. Now you have some time to go into hermit mode to start remembering all those warm fireside chats you talking about. They did this to you, they did that to you, your ex did this, your ex did that, so on and so forth. All of these things, now you got time to pour into yourself to go back through your memory of how this energy, you're pouring so much out to them, and they're masking this compassion. They pretend like they're so compassionate. Oh my God, that's so horrible, such and such and such and such, while all trying to mirror you, taking your place. Smile in your face. What's that song? Backstabbers. Backstabbers. That's this right here. Secretly want your life. This is somebody that you love. They were right there with you when you had a nervous breakdown. So how all of a sudden everything becomes so quick in terms of like quick progression? How everything becomes so quick progression for them? It's because what was exposed and what pack they're running with. They're dark wolf energy. You're light wolf energy. You're enlightened. You're a person who's like keep enlightening people about what's going on with your life. And I talk to this person. I talk to that person. Well, who would you talk to again? See, that's where the pause. That's where the glitch was. Well, who was it again? Who'd you talk to? That's what you can right start remembering. So now that things are closed out, you may not ever hear from them again because they had to make a decision. They had to make a decision. They had to make a decision. Here's the Four of Wands here. Yeah, they had to make a decision because they had to make a decision what side they were going to land on. They not only they moved, but they moved into their new place. It's four of them. It's four of them, right? Four of them. Right? So they had to make a decision. What side are you going to land on? So they were with an organization. They all in the same organization, all of them. So if you call, then you'll hear immediately forwarded to something, right? You're a light worker. Here we have the Page of Swords here. So you're getting a message that's coming through that whatever anxiety you may have been having about something is coming to an end very soon. Like I said, the cycle is over. You're moving forward. So you've done your light work. You've done your shadow work. See this cute little cat shadow? Yeah, you've done your shadow work. So let me see. Somebody that you considered as family, was a secret enemy of yours. Two of them, secret enemy of yours. One of them you already knew. That was out in the open. Y'all didn't get along. It would be considered as like you got along with your ex's mom and sister, or their mom or dad, or mom and dad, or the dad and brother, or dad and sister, or something like that. But you don't mess with the ex anymore. But you feel like, okay, for the sake of kids, because there's Page energy is youthful. For the sake of kids, you get along. You'll keep it high vibrational and cordial, right? But what you didn't see is that the ones that you were talking to, still communicating with just for the sake of the kids, were really your secret enemies. Really your secret enemies. That's where the rose-colored glasses need to come off. They were the secret enemies. So you're trying to see something from a higher frequency. That's why Soja's saying the cycle is over, move forward. Because these energies made these energies pick a side. The other side of this is Taurus. This rules second house. Second house is about personal resources, money habits, possessions, valuables, possessions, values, financial security, self-worth, and income. So these energies were paid to get familiar with you. That's what the part you don't see. These energies were being paid to get familiar with you, Libra. To get familiar with your personal resources, your money habits, your possessions, your financial security, your self-worth, your income. Get familiar with all of those things. Develop a good memory of all those things, and use somebody to come back with an open book to give us all of these ideas. Yeah. So, like I said, you're a light worker. That's what you're called to do, is to be a light worker, right? So you don't need to exhaust yourself in how this works. These energies quickly chose to sacrifice you after all the sacrifices that you made, because they're all a part of the same pact. Dark wolf energy, sneaky, very sneaky. But that's something that you're working on, because they were all a part of the same team. Yep. And so you're grateful that it's behind you because it's been exposed. Right? You're grateful that it's behind you because it's been exposed. Because this right here, what goes around comes around. You just got to see it from a higher frequency, because they're chained to their demons. They are chained to their demons. And what are their demons? Arrogance. They can't help it. It's their way or the highway. I'm going to leave off of your reading who is going to be their worst nightmare, because they cross watch. So I don't even need to say it. But somebody's going to be their worst nightmare. They're going to bring a tower down on them. 4 swords. They're going to bring a tower down on them that they're not even going to see coming. They so busy clapping and cheering and celebrating right now. They distracted because they love distracting other people. So you stay on the light side. Make a decision. Lover's card. This is one person. This is about duality. These are karmic couples who like to separate people in their marriages. They like to separate families. They like to separate all kinds of stuff. Right? But you already had some idea. But use your ideas, your air sign, right? Use your ideas moving forward. You have a lot of great ideas. But that's what they needed to get familiar with, how you're making your money, how this, how that. Be grateful that it is behind you, because that wheel is spinning. And there's a tower coming down. They're not going to see. Here's the 8 of Cups. They somewhere, like right now, even probably watching videos, not even just mine, but other people's videos. Yeah, we've been doing this for years. It's never going to happen. There's a whole lot of people that say that. But you're not obsessed. You're just grateful that you're on top of things and you are moving on. You know now. Yep. These 2 karmics, they tell kind of all these lies to bring your worth and your value down. Right? But you answering a call in your life, Source is balancing it out. 4, 2, and 6 is fine. So Source says go into your vault door. That's not something you want to be a part of. You know your worth and your value. Those energies are trying to play this reverse mess on you as if you're a pick-me. But guess what? So is everybody. Everybody wants to be picked and chosen for something. But guess what? You were chosen by the Creator. They had to create lies about you to lower your worth and lower your value. To play God, to play your God. Close out the cycle. In love, of course. Enforce the boundary. These energies sat right in your face and lied in your face. You asked them questions and they lied right in your face. With a straight face, that is. With a straight face, child, how you do that? Just sit there and just lied right in your face, child. Like, what? Anyway, here we have the Tower card. So, yeah, here's a Tower card. So, this is a silent tower and this is a big tower, right? Upheaval is happening. One of them, they say, what? How in the world? They shouldn't be so obsessed with watching tarot since they said it was evil, right? They said it was evil. They shouldn't be so obsessed. They're not going to see that silent one, though. They shouldn't be so obsessed. Tarot is so evil, right? Right. They lied on you and said you was a devil worshiper, right? Right. But they can't peel their eyes away from watching it. So you come up out of your emotions, toss the energies into a burning bowl, and you walk right into that sunlight. You come up out of a depth of emotions. You come out of your emotions. 3 and 8 is 11. Yeah, Source has enlightened you. That's right. You've gone through an initiation from Source as a light worker. Divine Source. There we go. So help me know that all of my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. That's right. Put your hands together. There we go. The Creator called you from within. You answered the call. You answered the call. Good for you. It's a time to give rather than a time to take, right? Yeah, you answer the call because you don't like chaos, confusion, and drama. You know how to remove yourself from a situation and look it through an objective lens. You don't like being involved in all that craziness, chaos, and confusion. They can't even bring a meeting to order without cussing each other out and fussing and going crazy and jumping down each other's throats, about to get people fired. I mean, they just all this chaos and confusion all the time. All that's fun. You're too peaceful, too high vibrational of an energy. So you better not be somewhere having no nervous breakdown over this. You need to be clapping and cheering. Thank you, Source. Make a meal, something healthy. That's your turning point. Make a meal, something healthy. That is what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been helpful. This energy has seen you as competition since day one. Because you're too balanced out. You're too peaceful. They needed something to get you riled up. If it wasn't you, it's going to be your kids or your child. If it wasn't you, it'd be a spouse. It's always something that the energies keep trying to find out what your demons are. Always trying to find out what your demons are. But once you learned what they are and you learn how to put them under submission, so it's like you went right into prayer mode. Not that you're not a human form and you don't get affected by things. You just know how to pray. These energies, they go from place to place, creating havoc in people's lives. Getting familiar, getting people put out of their homes, getting people's, getting fired from their jobs. They're just doing the most. And who working for the devil? Definitely not you. Here's a new chapter. So when things seem to be falling apart, be aware that things may be coming together in new ways that suit the next phase of your life even better. There it is. There it is. Toss something into a burning bowl and let it be. So if you need to solve a problem, ask yourself, what is the simplest way to proceed? When you call forth the simplest path, it appears, and vice versa. Vice versa. You're one of a kind. So from the moment that you emerged into the world, you had extraordinary talents. You understand starlight, animal voices, and all things magical. There you go. That is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said before, keep your vibrations, continue to keep your vibrations high. Somebody's definitely a light worker, right? You're definitely a light worker. And so it's just saying you don't need to exhaust yourself overthinking something. You really, really don't. You don't have to exhaust yourself overthinking something. So just keep your vibrations high. Keep it balanced out. Even if you're apart from energies, you can still pray for people. Okay? That's what I have for you. Bye.